I am here because I fell in love with a guy from Brooklyn, a Jew, who loved the desert. And I loved him, so honey, it's my gift to you. This piece is dedicated to Joel Harry Newman, an only Renaissance man I met, a writer, a musician, a journalist, mentor, my late husband, lover of life and art. Honey, I love you. Quilt of all things, I don't understand the desert. It has an open sky. I'm used to hiding, feeling safe in caves and corners, sipping tea quietly in small glass cups, hearing distant melodies of Anatolia, seeking a white-bearded whirling dervish to appear, speaking the wisdom of 10,000 years. What business have I here, under the open western sky, all exposed? My own voice whispers in my ear, if you do not like it, leave. There are some places you cannot leave. A smiling coyote looks at me with judging eyes, calling me a chicken, a roadrunner. Reminds me there are things to be done. I ask him, what things? He doesn't answer. Runs after his own lizard. The memories of lost hope do not listen, they breathe. First road trip was long ago. My love and I saw a hawk circling around us. The tones of subtle browns on his wings were so invisible to the untrained eye like mine. The flowers were so small, so little, so white, so yellow. They knew how to hide. I imagined a smoke signal on the horizon. Kept looking for that ancient people I saw in movies, riding along the asphalt behind the electric poles. He wanted to have a home in the desert. That moment, I looked around, saw nothing but 259 shades of brown. And answered, yeah, you got it, over my dead body. 15 Hollywood years later, I got tired of playing the writer's wife in Hollywood mansions, playing the Turk. He got tired of chasing that movie deal. One Monday night, at the end of April, constellation Scorpio rose in the southern sky. Our car broke down in front of Pappy's. An old movie set, a made-up town, 2 hours and a lifetime away from LA. A young man who desperately needed a haircut and a shave was hitting an old banjo. Stars were big as our hands that night. The wind was fresh, no hint of dust in the air. He spotted a broken down horse ranch. Its back against dark hills with purple shadows. A hawk stood on its gate. It was the woman. The decision was made at that moment. Cities like New York, LA, Istanbul, Bombay They are all same in a way. We long for a new beginning. Days without puke in the alleys, without smell of gasoline, sound of sirens, condoms on the sidewalk, bars on the windows. He wanted horses. I wanted to make a quilt of all things. There was a reason. There was a reason God lived in the desert, he used to say. I don't remember why. I do remember getting trees to celebrate our new home in the middle of a storm. We bought pine for Christmas, peppers for shade, cypress just because they were in Van Gogh paintings. Mrs. Glenn said, "You city people, this is the wrong time to plant." We believed they would survive. They did. They had plenty of horse shit from old corral to keep them warm. We were cold. We found out our river rock fireplace wasn't just for looks, nor was the wood stove. We forgot to get the wood. Went to bed, wrapped in our bathrobes, giggled all night, making plans to get an alpaca in the spring, a horse by the fall. All he wanted to live and write. Instead, he died. That night, I was in the desert. He was not. I was in Desert Stories 5. He was supposed to be here. He said it was his gift to me. I was here to pick up my gift, sitting right there. His brother was reading his story right here, and my heart was with him. Right after, I went out and told him how well it went, how much people loved it. And he looked at me and said, "Feryat, why did it have to happen now?" I said, "No, you're gonna make it." He said, "Honey, it's my gift to you. Enjoy. Go to the party with Eric Burton. You deserve it." I said, "I have the poster of the show. I'm gonna bring it to you." He said, "Keep the poster there." That was the last time I talked to him. He lost consciousness that night. 2 days later, yesterday, 2 years ago, he passed away. That night, I was in the desert. He was night. He was not. I waited for him to wake up. I would tell him how beautiful sunrise was, how proud I was that I stayed in our home alone. I fell asleep just for a second. Beyond the pale pink sunrise, the desert tapped my shoulder. "Wake up," it said, "wake up. It is time to witness how glorified I am, how small you are. Your home, your trees, your shed, so small. Your cats are small. Now, you pick up the phone and be told he's gone. Your life is gone." Now, there are days I wake up to a bowl full of fears staring at me on the kitchen table. I focus on the pink berries of the pepper trees shaking in the wind. Fruit trees are his memorial. They survived as well. Swamp cooler stopped working again. The water is too hard, pressure is low, or whatever. Rattlesnake was in the house one night, coiled behind the sofa. I called an animal control. A huge police officer came. Pepper sprayed the snake. I began coughing. My eyes hurt. He put his hand on his pistol and showed me a YouTube video of his target practice. About 12 a.m., he said, "I know how to call an owl. Let me show you." He called an owl. He called an owl. Owl didn't come. Rattlesnake didn't leave. Next day, rattlesnake left through the open door as if it owned the place. I try to be careful. I really do. I tell myself, I get used to that kangaroo that's in the pool. A scorpion crawling on the white kitchen wall. A bobcat camping behind my shed. Then there are days filled with that sweet smell after the rain. I walk back off to the barn to the edge of the hill. A lukewarm mug of coffee in my hand. I sit on a 30-year-old wooden chair, faded by the sun. I stare at the top of the rock where his ashes are. The rock stares back at me. He says nothing. My baby made me promise. He told me not to look back like lost wife. Lest I also become a pillar of salt. But I do look back in a regular basis. But my desert changes. Its colors shift. Sometimes a red bird stops by in the morning. There is another nesting on the porch. I dug one more hole in the ground yesterday. I miss another planting season. This is the place I get all kinds of ideas, where everything is possible. Then I find myself watering sand again. I accept it now. It does not matter how hard I try, August will be rough. I still don't hear the ancient drums. Often I do see a man riding on the border where blue mountains meet a pale sky, a beaded bag of spears on his back, a red tail hawk with wings of soft autumn and copper hovering over his head. And I found the cruelest of all things in the old thrift shop by the gas station. It has many colors. It has many colors. Old fabrics, new designs. I imagine women gathering around, laughing, creating. I take the quilt, pull over me. I hide under it until the dropping light is back.